So we are starting the session. I welcome again all the panelists and audience for this insightful discussions on the role of digital transformation in the manufacturing industry. Today we are here to delve into the experiences and perspective of our distinguished panelists who bring a wealth of knowledge from the various facts of the industry. We will be exploring the impact of digitalization on manufacturing process, the challenges faced, and the innovative solutions that we have emerged. Now, I would like to introduce the panelist. We have Mr. Vishal Bhatt. He is a Vice President, SME Business, Tata Tele Business Services, and his areas of specialization include business operation plans, channel life cycle and capability, sales strategy and operations, market planning and customer retention and uses, and his topic is digital enablement for the enterprises. I'll request Mr. Bhatt to take a seat on the dais. We have Mr. R.N. Mohanty, is President Technology, Pidilite Industries Limited. I'll request Mr. Mohanty to take a seat on the dais. His area of expertise includes control process engineering, IT, computer control, strategic planning, IoT, IIoT, AI, RPA, energy optimization, and he will be speaking on automation in manufacturing. Welcome you, sir. We have Mr. Vatsal Makim, is from the Impact Engineering, and his area of expertise includes IoT automation management and business consultancy, and he would be speaking on the transformation to digitalization consulting using IoT. I'll request Mr. Vatsal to take a seat on dais. We have Mr. Ajay Avle, is Head of Information Technology, Aquapharma Chemicals Private Limited, and his area of expertise includes digital transformation, e-commerce platform, SAP and CRM projects, manufacturing IT technologies, and IoT implementations, and he would be speaking on cybersecurity, AI, ML for manufacturing industry. Now I request Mr. Chandrakant Salunke, Founder and President, SME Chamber of India and Maharashtra Industry Development Association, to chair this session and to start the proceedings.
Good afternoon. गुड आफ्टरनून. जरा पीछे जो खड़े हैं पहले बैठ जाइए. ओ मान जी, आप बैठ जाइए. आइए आइए बैठ जाइए, बाद में बात करेंगे हम लोग. टाटा टेली सर्विसेज ऑलवेज अवेलेबल हियर, so we can discuss later in a break. On behalf of SME Chamber of India and Maharashtra Industry Development Association, and especially with Tata Tele Business Services, I welcome you at this very important panel discussion. We are going to discuss on how digital transformation has played a pivotal role in the manufacturing industry. Before that, I would like to say a few words on what are the activities we do and what kind of activities we are going to do in future. All of you must be aware that SME Chamber of India is working for the SME growth for the last 30 years and putting efforts for giving them emerging business opportunities, supporting them to connect with the potential buyers, potential partners, potential investors, and also channelizing and bringing the top corporates, financial institutions, and other institutions. Those will be supporting to SMEs like a Tata Tele Business Services, Tata AI, SBI, Union Bank of India, and other important institutions present here today. There were more discussion on the credit check raised by many participants, many delegates, and especially from the speakers also. Approaching any buyer or supplier, of course there is a big gap about how to identify the credibility of the company or how to identify the creditworthiness of that company. Rather, in this segment, SBI or Union Bank of India, especially the IBA, can play a very important role. But they look at only 2-page balance sheet, some information, how much tax you paid, how much business you have done, that's it. But we are not going deeply about particular company. What is the credibility and creditworthiness of the company? As my one of friends said, that he has spent a lot of money for getting that information. Crores of rupees he has spent to getting more information. But somehow we have initiated this platform called SME Credit Check Private Limited Company. I have done study more than at least 10 years, particularly when I'm interacting with the RBI governor and RBI officials, and particularly bankers and corporates. फोन पे कोई बात कर रहा होगा तो बाहर जाके बात कीजिए. Don't disturb others. तो ऐसा देखने में आया कि जो भी कंपनी सप्लाई करती है, जो भी कंपनी परचेस करती है और जो भी कंपनी सर्विस प्रोवाइड करती है, उसके लिए ऐसा कुछ दायरा बनना चाहिए कि जिसमें हम लोग उनको सपोर्ट दे सके, जिनको हम कॉन्फिडेंस दे सकते. अभी हमारे पीडी लाइट के मोहंती जी बैठे हैं. आपने देखा होगा पीडी लाइट का जो आपने फेविकॉल यूज है, उसका जोड़ कितना मजबूत होता है. जोड़ टूटता है क्या मोहंती जी? नहीं टूटता है ना. वैसा बैंक और कस्टमर का होता है. वैसे आज की डेट में कस्टमर और सप्लायर्स का होना चाहिए, या मैन्युफैक्चरर सप्लायर्स का होना चाहिए, बायर्स का होना चाहिए. उसके लिए हमने एक जोड़ बनाया है, दैट इज कॉल्ड एसएमई क्रेडिट चेक प्राइवेट लिमिटेड. उससे आपको गारंटी मिलेगी. देखिए मोदी जी साहब ने कहा ना अभी परसों कि मोदी जी जहाँ कदम रखते हैं वहाँ से मुमकिन बनता है, जहाँ से पॉसिबिलिटी बनती है. मीन्स मोदी मीन्स गारंटी, वैसा एसएमई चैम्बर मीन्स गारंटी है. एसएमई चैम्बर मीन्स बिजनेस है. एसएमई चैम्बर मीन्स नेटवर्किंग प्लेटफॉर्म है. So you can utilize this concept, you can utilize our platform for particular to enhance your connectivity. आज की डेट में सप्लाई चेन में जैसे सुफिन का प्रेजेंटेशन हुआ, जैसे आज की डेट में हम जब चाहते हैं कि कोई सप्लायर अच्छा मिले, why they have taken initiative? L&T को क्या जरूरत थी या टाटा को क्या जरूरत है कि टाटा टेली सर्विसेज शुरू? Why? Because they want to bring the quality services to Indian community. आज अगर वर्ल्ड वाइड मार्केट में देखा जाए तो आपको दिखता है कि क्या क्वालिटी दिया जाता है. टेक्नोलॉजिकल डेवलपमेंट हो गया. अभी AI आया तो बहुत सारे स्टाफ निकल जाएंगे, मैन पावर कम हो जाएगा. ऐसा कुछ नहीं, उल्टा ज़्यादा बढ़ रहा है. और हाई प्रोफाइल लोगों की जॉब बढ़ रही है. लास्ट वीक आई वॉज इन चाइना. I have attended very important program organized by the government of China that is called Global Sourcing Supply Chain and Sourcing Event. मैंने देखा वहाँ पर top 500 companies from the China and 500 Fortune companies from the world they participate. All MDs and chairmen of the that company present at that time. Prime Minister of China addressed that summit. And they have come up with such idea. Supply chain can be developed such way where buyer should not face any problem. Supply chain should be continuity, and supply chain will be the important parameter in a global market, which they have focused particularly to give the quality product. पहले हम क्या सोचते कि चाइना का प्रोडक्ट एक बार यूज करो फेंक दो. अब वैसा नहीं है. मैं जब चाइना घूमा, अभी बहुत साल से घूम रहा हूँ, लेकिन लास्ट टाइम मैं जब गया था, आई हैड सीन एवरी पर्सन इज हैविंग एप्पल फोन, ब्रांडेड शर्ट देखो, टाई देखो, सब ब्रांडेड यूज कर रहे हैं. मतलब चाइना के पास इतनी क्रेडिबिलिटी है, चाइना के पास इतना है, तो हम हमारे इंडियन एसएमई के में क्यों नहीं कर सकते ये? So that's why chamber is putting efforts and bringing all this orders. Now coming back to the point about today's panel discussion. देखिए डिजिटलाइजेशन का ये दायरा हमने पैंडेमिक में ज़्यादा भोगा है. समझ में ना? भोगा है. मैं क्यों वर्ड यूज़ कर रहा हूँ? क्योंकि उस वक्त डिजिटल के बिना हम लोग कुछ नहीं कर सकते थे. व्हाट्सएप कॉल, वेब कॉल, जूम कॉल, कितने मिनिस्टर को पता नहीं था कि मैं जूम कॉल पे बैठा हूँ. जूम कॉल क्या होता है? कितने गवर्नमेंट अफसर नहीं. आज की डेट में देखिए सब इवन बैंक में आज की डेट में मैंने देखा 90% अभी ऑनलाइन मीटिंग हो रही है. बहुत सारे एमडी चेयरमैन सब उनके जितने भी मैनेजर लेवल है, असिस्टेंट मैनेजर लेवल है या सीनियर, वो थ्रू वेब कास्ट के थ्रू जा रहे हैं. सो इसमें टाटा टेली सर्विसेज का भी बहुत बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट हाथ है, क्योंकि आज डिजिटलाइजेशन करने का जो टाटा कंपनी का, टाटा जो ब्रांड है उसका जो दायरा है, उनका जो रादर इनिशिएटिव है, इसका फ़ायदा हमारे एसएमई सेक्टर को लेना चाहिए. क्योंकि आज देखिए टेलीकम्युनिकेशन, कम्युनिकेशन एंड डिजिटाइजेशन, ये सभी दायरे हमारे मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडस्ट्री के लिए वैल्यू एडिशन देते हैं. तो मुझे लगता है यही फ़ायदा है, यही मौका है कि हमें हाउ वी कैन एक्वायर advanced technology, latest technology and affordable technology to improve your capacity, capabilities, your quality services, and most importantly, how you can attract your customer, how you can attract more suppliers, and how you can retain your customers, and how you can go for acquisition of new customers. That is the most important. So friends, I will not take much time, but I will request all the panelists to give a brief of their activities and your thoughts on particularly on the digital transformation can be done in a manufacturing industry or whatever infrastructure in digitization has already transformed, how that can be benefited to our SME sector and manufacturing industry. Thank you very much. I request Mr. Mohanty to start because he is a senior panelist here today and he has a vast experience in the manufacturing industry, particularly technology and chemical industry. So आपका जो जोड़ कैसा है, वो जोड़ में क्या जोड़ है, वो आप हमें बताइए. Thank you.
हाँ, तो सालुंके साहब और हम में काफ़ी कोई डिफरेंट प्लेटफॉर्म में मिलते रहते, काम करते रहते. सो ही इज डूइंग ए ग्रेट जॉब फॉर दी SME sector and so it is very heartening to address the SME sector for digitalization. See, in manufacturing, digitalization is not new because without digitalization, manufacturing could not proceed from the old age only. So most of the manufacturing units were using some sort of digital like DCS, PLC, digital instrumentation, automation, they were using always. What has been more prevalent now is bringing those digitalization to the SME sector. Because it was earlier, suppose there was a DCS with crores of rupees, and also it was not available for the SME sector. You have to bring low-cost automation. Low-cost automation is a concept LCA, which is used now in the small SME sector. So I will just briefly tell a few things which SME sector can do in the manufacturing. So manufacturing per se, the core manufacturing needs automation and control of different parameters. The more you control the parameters closer to the required optimum limits, you get more benefit out of it, and you are safe also if you are having the automation. Safety is better, the profitability is better because you are very close to the optimum limit. So now the new generation of the digitalization has widely been using IoT, IIoT, to some extent AI and ML. AI ML is not yet in the SME sector, and it is not going to go to SME sector so easily. We should now, actually the SME sector should explore IoT, IoT and the edge control. Edge control is another handle for the SME sector to get more benefit. You need not always go to the In the manufacturing sector, the main demerit and disadvantage is the real-time concept. Most of the parameters are to be controlled, monitored in real time. Real time means no latency. So the other digitalization has got latency. So it is better to have very close to the point of action, the control, and so that can be achieved by IoT, IIoT, and edge control. So we are from Pidilite, we have very small units. We are present in many things. Name is big, but our units are very small. It is always in a small sector, not even medium sector. Very small units are there. So we now gradually we have some units which are quite big, and we are using DCS in those units. But now we have decided to go for IoT and IIoT and edge control in all the automation of the manufacturing units. We are specialty chemical predominant industry, except few big units. We make specialty chemical, and they are very small. So IoT basically, there are many confusions from the manufacturing sector about the IoT. IoT basically by its definition has got a sensor which is intelligent. The sensors in IoT are intelligent. That means in the sensor itself, in many places is desired, it should have the memory, it should have the arithmetic and logic unit, some sort of compute, so that most of the activities of control and monitoring can be achieved in sensor itself. So that makes it very cost effective. To give a sort of ballpark, establish this estimate, from a DCS to go to a edge control and IoT control, it will be, to me, I am very optimistic and always push IoT and edge control in my organization. It is at least 5 times cheaper. So I don't know if the people here are from SME sector, I would suggest, I am a control enthusiast for 50 years, I have been working and studying controls. And so I would sincerely request everybody to go for IoT, IIoT and edge control to start with. Keep the cloud out of the control and manufacturing, because cloud has a latency. Till date, the cloud has a latency. In latency is not tolerated in manufacturing. So most of the places you should do IoT, IIoT and edge. If any query is there on this subject, I can go to the examples and explain what I mean by IoT, IIoT and edge. Because I spent 50 years in this, I can go on continuing this till the evening, so I now stop here. In case you want anything, you can tell. But my sincere advice to the SME sector is to go for this and say goodbye to the DCS.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mohanty. It's very interesting. When we talk about, particularly corporate, we assume that Tata is number one. And, when Tata name comes, brand comes, the quality assurance is come. So I want to bring Mr. Vishal, how you can, share your experience of the Tata Tele Business Services in witnessing the growth of integrated digital technologies and facilitating the digital empowerment enable of the enterprises within the manufacturing industry, particularly SME segment. Because unless until we will not improve our technology, we will not give a output of the quality services or even providing the services on time. So what's your thought on this process?
Yeah, see, I would say, I've been explaining it during my lecture also, like it was SMEs as such, we are looking at a transformation, and while some of the large corporates have the resources, have adapted to the newer technologies, but we're looking at, as Mr. Mohanty put it very rightly, looking at patches of saying, where do you want to improve? It's no more a game of saying our IT systems should be strong. It's a game of saying our every function should be strong. So we've seen experiences, as Tata Tele, we've seen experiences how adoption of digital in this space has happened. It is happening, and at the same time, people have started thinking very clearly in terms of how do I create efficiencies at the production line, how do I create efficiencies at the selling point, and how do I kind of also create efficiencies from a customer experience point. So all these things keeping factor, the experience clearly says like the way we used to operate and how we kind of want to look at it in future is the optimization, and at the same time use of technologies, but at the cost which we don't have. We don't have heavy pockets as SMEs to kind of put in. So it becomes a important factor for us to kind of look at what should we do and how to start with. And Tata Tele as such in this space has learned a lot, like kind of given experience of saying how it used to happen pre-COVID and what happened during COVID, and keeping the manufacturing segment aside. There were a lot of companies, and especially SMEs, who came back to us saying that, boss, now we're stuck at homes, how do we operate, how do we run our businesses? That is where a lot more product innovations happened, and I'm very in front of the kind of development, the kind of research which happened in terms of how virtualization, how low-cost methodology, how people will start working from home. Nobody thought of running businesses, sitting at home and communicating to the rest of the world. That is where those experiences have taught us in terms of what innovations should we do. And as we see ourselves today, we're in a space in these 3 years where now when we talk to any of the organizations and talk about businesses, it's not about no more a product story, it's more about an operations story. It's about saying how the entire business runs, and how do you optimize, and how do you use technology at every element. And one of the examples, I won't kind of put the name of the company, was that there was a large education company, one of the brands in India, like who was catering to lakhs and lakhs of students and teaching online. And COVID hit us, and suddenly a requirement came saying, how do we teach people now? How do we run businesses? And our business shop closes because we are a startup, and we've grown phenomenally high. And that's where the concept, everything moved to home. Now, what moved to home was what was running physically on a cable, on a wire, moved on a virtual cloud story. So that's the use of the technology. And similarly, the manufacturing segment, I would say, it is looking at the entire supply chain. It is looking at how should we look at our imports, how should we look at our exports, and how should we play with the technology. Lots of cases to talk about, like there was a petroleum manufacturing company, various plants across the country wanted to communicate, wanted to kind of make their entire operation smoother, is where we innovated a product which is a low-cost communication product, wherein every information which got picked up from one place got stored at a single server at a central place. For example, if you look at today's pharma industry, a lot of these pharma companies now, it's not pharma is no more a medicine manufacturing. Pharma is more about entire chain. It goes down to hospitals, it goes even down to diagnostic centers. Now, you as a end consumer would want all your reports, all your information to be saved, to be stored and secure at one single place, so that you can use that information in future as we move forward. All this has happened with the innovation of technology, and that is what we play a very important role there.
Thank you. It means technology, showcasing and securing the not only just industrial but health also. It's very interesting. How many entrepreneurs sitting here, they have adopted the advanced technology, particularly for the manufacturing output. So advanced technology means advanced machinery, equipments, with the latest innovative products. Anyone can raise a hand and say? Mr. Shah is one person. So that means 99% entrepreneurs or the delegates are yet to decide about technology, about how we can identify the affordable technology. I think our next speaker, I think David must focus on the how the advanced technology requirement in India. So you can highlight in your speech about how the US companies are promoting their technology in India. So nevertheless, let's move to the Vatsal. Vatsal, you have a very good experience in particularly IoT, mainly in a driven digitization transformation. The way SME is approaching manufacturing and what benefits it's offered to these businesses. What is your thoughts on this matter, and particularly share your background and whatever business activity you do, and then you can highlight this question.
Yeah, myself is Vatsal. I am owning this company, INEC Engineering and Consultancy. We are primarily into process automation and digital transformation. I am an authorized partner with Silicon Valley Innovation Center. I am also authorized partner with AWS for cloud computing. I am also authorized partner with Rockwell Automation for this all automation and digital transformation. So I have executed projects in more than 40 countries for this process automation and digital transformation.
So I want to move to further discussion. Vishal, when you acquire a particular enterprise, and after acquiring the enterprises, you start giving services. What are the challenges and what are the issues you have observed, and how you are resolving that issues, particularly from the enterprise point of view? Because most of the enterprise owners, they are utilizing their different services, but the employment point of view, when they start using the services for the telebusiness services, where how you are focusing more to resolve that issues.
See, one of the experiences what we have is with the adoption of technologies, digital as such, and we being a technology company, you encounter a lot of challenges. A lot of challenges in the sense it's about the legacy systems. It's about the capability and competence, the skill what people carry, and with the organization in the past. It's about the thought of changing, risk of changing is one of the factors which actually hampers people from moving ahead. So we as a company, like this is where we come into. These are the things where we bring in ourselves and talk as a one-stop consulting organization to the company. Basically, SME as such doesn't have the liberty of kind of having a full-fledged digital department, or for that matter a CTO and a CDO, and then having a separate IT and CIO and all that. It boils down to 2-3 people, and they're the people who decide on how to move forward. So that's where the space of who's going to collaborate with them, who's going to kind of give them that advantage of saying, okay, fine, we're going to be your solution provider, we're going to be your consulting company, and you leave it to us. And effectively, the most important thing about all this is the data security, and that is where a lot of companies have apprehensions of saying, is my information secure? And these are the things, these challenges, like basically doesn't allow these legacy organizations to kind of move and change. So, but with we as the brand, as one-stop solution, and with a lot of stuff in terms of data privacy and regulatories, what we follow, we see a lot of people coming back to us and talking to us for kind of change. And as we see, and we're seeing the panel also speaking a lot more on It's not no more buying a product. It's more of a buying security on the whole. So there was a time when we used to sell internet lease line, which was an internet line for anyone who's buying a broadband or internet at enterprise at your office. Now we don't sell internet. We sell secure internet. That secure internet comes with a lot of stuff. So that comes with a lot of security. So that is where the thought of saying is the business important or is the future important is very important, is something which we have to think. So even for that matter, if you look at today's thought process of the legacy mindsets and legacy ways of working, you ask anyone who's buying a car, come within saying, I would buy a car which is giving me very good fuel efficiency. Nobody talking safety. So safety comes first. In our all excellence discussions, it's about safety. So I think for all SMEs, it's very, very important that we not only look at future, we also look at safety, security, and in the sense, yes, there are challenges, but we as an organization can kind of help you in overcoming those challenges.
So that means you want to say that if you provide services with a security and guarantee, am I right? Because guarantee for what? Whatever you had given assurance, you are going to complete it. Third thing, very important, that the continuity services. So SME entrepreneurs should think about continuity services, quality services, and mostly value addition. Our entrepreneurs, particularly my SME sector, they face more than at least 42 daily issues and hurdles to run their businesses. But on the contrary, they become a very experienced person while they are operating their business. So they have to decide the buyer, they have to find out the suppliers, they have to find out the quality product. They have to check their price in the market. They have to understand the competitor's product, what is the competitor is manufacturing, how they are manufacturing. And all these things while they're doing, they have to face problem to get the receivable on timely. If they are supplying to large corporate or SME or any medium-sized industry, they have a fear that my payment will come on time or not. Sometimes workers, sometimes skilled manpower is not availability, sometimes power is not available, sometimes harassment by the labor unions, sometimes harassment by the political gundas. So all these points, because yesterday I met some entrepreneurs from the Navi Mumbai, they expressed all these thoughts. So that means where they will get time for innovation and invention. So we are looking at the SME entrepreneurs manufacturing industry from India, how they can transform their business and how they can innovate some unique ideas for commercialization. So Mr. Mohanty, being a technology expert, what is your advice and guidance, particularly for the SMEs from manufacturing industry, for innovation and invention? They can go ahead with this.
See, as I said, direct operation by manpower is now difficult because as I said, Chandrakant says, labor union, gundas, these things. So it should be operated by machine and should be controlled. The manufacturing should be controlled basically by the automation and all the parameters should be measured. Measurement is the first point for automation. You measure and then your desired parameters you should control by automation. That will take care of many things. It will take care of safety. It will take care of our resources. It will take care of other side influences like political, gundas, and unscrupulous government authorities who want to extract money from you on some context or other. So all this you should be able to do it. As I said, presently for the SME sector, there is a great thing which has come is the very small automation, very small low cost automation, and security also is a say very, as per me, security is a much hyped subject. It is important for the bankers, it is important for the commercial this, but for the manufacturing, especially small scale manufacturing, security is not very important, because it does not go out of the premises. You don't go to the cloud, you don't go outside your premises, you control then and there. So it is important for the small and medium sector industry to focus on the supply chain and the product going to the market, the time to go to market, and the safety. This is what is important. All this can be addressed by IoT, IIoT, edge control. It does not require too much security because it is inside the premises only. So that is my what you call advice for the SME sector.
So, Mr. Mohanty, you want to say that, security is most important. So, when security subject comes, automatically the machine learning, so AI, and, nowadays a lot of, companies started using the advanced equipments for particularly promoting and branding and promotion. So, Ajay, what is your thoughts on particularly AI and ML based cyber security solutions? How to enhance the cyber security, particularly for the manufacturing industry and service sector also?
Yeah, sure. I mean, today, I think the cyber security devices, they are grown like anything actually. If you see a decade back, we were, using the antivirus system only, okay, which was, residing on your laptop or desktop, and it was dealing with XYZ sites, then some malware, spyware, and they just deal with that and save your computer or devices. But AI has brought, the real-time awareness on the threats which are, published onto internet, for example, and the devices are having their own algorithms who can deal with these kind of latest sprayed malware or spywares. Okay, so endpoint devices like laptop or desktop, or I think your mobile phone also, they are protected with the software, but these softwares are connected to internet. Okay, and with the internet, I think these are updated regularly. When I say regularly, because if any incident happens across the world, these companies, they update their tool immediately. So I think I have come across a company, I don't want to name that, because of course, I mean, it's a brand. So they update their systems in 4 hours. Okay, if any incident happens across anywhere in the world, and they learn from that and they update their system in 4 hours. So within 6 hours or 8 hours, your own system gets updated. So you are on top of that impact in 8 hours, for example. And I think 6 to 8 hours, and nobody has broken this record actually. Honestly, it should be real time, but it's difficult.
Okay, good. What is the key factors for the SMEs to consider when they're implementing IoT-based digital transformation initiatives, and how can SMEs measure and demonstrate the return on the investment of their digital transformation efforts? If I understand from the particularly from Vatsal about this matter, then we can suggest SMEs to raise their question on this matter.
Yeah, so IoT is Internet of Things, and when the Internet comes, automatically the information comes, and it automatically comes the innovations. IoT is the basic device primarily for Industry 4.0, because Industry 4.0 is like integrating your total process including your complex process with decision making. So internet plus human plus machines, they all are connected. So what are the key factors? Key factors will come as in sustainability is one of the key factor which will come when you implement the industry 4.0. Why the key factor is because it's in long-term solutions to your manufacturing, and most of the parts are electronic, so it will go again into go green segments. Second most important key factor is coming to the solution, or you become a free by your SME approach. So your total process is now systemized. You can go global. Your product quality and response time will be very high in that case. This is again another most important factors for the implementation of IoT and Industry 4.0.
Okay. Friends, when we talk about product, we talk about, different type of quality technologies. We need assurance, we need particularly support, continuity in that. So Vishal, let me know how you acquire a client and how retain the client, and what guarantee, what security, and what kind of assurance you are giving to them, for continuity business.
See, again, from a technology point of view, we are there in that space. Basically, today, any company, in fact, if we have to look at, they're looking for three important things. One is obviously the IT infrastructure, what they have. Second is the cloud part of it, in terms of saying how efficient they can become and how cost effective they can kind of run in their operations. The third most important is the security. So in this, for companies like us to kind of get to that space and in a way kind of hold on to the customers, keep them satisfied, and at the same time, as I spoke about data security and all that stuff, we as an organization also have gone further and not only looked at our own homegrown products, like which is the connectivity space of data and voice. We've gone further, done strong alliances, like alliances with, say, Microsoft, alliances with Google, alliances with Meta. And these alliances have helped us to kind of stitch a lot more products, and at the same time look at how do we retain, how do we basically upsell, how do we basically look at the entire operations of an organization. So with connectivity space comes the security, with security comes the method of how to communicate with the consumers, and effectively look at the entire operation. So that has given us, we call it internally in terms of our own terminology called EPPC, which means how many enterprise products each customer of us has from us is the key here. Like if you buy one product from us, how do we kind of in a way kind of help you buying second and have a complete value chain, and that is where we are. So in this space, that has helped us not only looked at organizations' benefits, but it becomes a one-stop solution. And we are in the journey of the companies. They feel secure, they feel in a way kind of coming back to us again and again and taking support from us. There are times when like you have to kind of think through and say, are we in that space? For example, I recently encountered, it's a very different example of saying coming out of manufacturing industry for a second, I said, I encountered a production house person who was running a production company in film in Bollywood, and he happened to meet me in the office. My first question to him was, why are you here? Why do you want to meet me and want to meet TTBS? What is there for you with us? His answer was very simple. He said, okay, I'll show you something. He opened a YouTube channel and he said, have you seen this movie? And it was one of the lead actors' movie and actresses' movie, and there was a song, there was some mountains going around and all that. And he said, do you know where this movie has been shot? I said, no, maybe Kashmir, maybe somewhere in suburbs, maybe somewhere in this. He said, no, it's been shot in 14 by 14 greenhouse. And it's a 2.5 hour movie. I said, what does it mean? He says, because this is all digital, and even if a frame of it gets leaked outside, my movie is gone. So what do I need from you is that, how do I keep my data safe? How do I ensure this gets uploaded before anyone else uploads it? I need speed, I need connectivity. So that becomes a very, very important point here. So that's why that person, he says the problem with this, us as an industry, and it's another industry, which is the film industry, says nobody's aware of how to do it. And it's a big, big scope out there to kind of talk to these people saying, boss, this is what can happen tomorrow because you're adapting technology.
Yes, thank you, Vishal. You know, particularly when we talk about Tata, a Tata brand, a quality, best services, and guarantee of the services. Let's go big hand to Tata brand and especially Tata television services, because टाटा है तो हमारा काम चल रहा है ऐसा है. पहले हम लोग देखते थे जब टाटा का ब्रांड मतलब नमक से लेके आज एयरप्लेन्स तक ऑल डिफरेंट प्रोडक्ट में आ गए. So that's the most important, and you know they are doing this kind of programs. Why? To create awareness about the advanced technology, how you can utilize this technology. Because my interest or my organization interest, you know, how I can empower our entrepreneurs, particularly enterprises, for global competitiveness. Mr. David Paskin is from the US consulate here. US companies particularly, what is their focus more on the quality, quantity, and upgradation of the technology. So same thing our entrepreneurs should adapt, and I'm sure that Tata Television Business Services is with you, SME Chamber of India is with you, all the companies those have presented today, and especially L&T Sufin also with you, to improve your quality, improve your services, and improve your product. So now coming back to from the local to global, if we have to talk about particularly local businesses, now we discuss about the technology, local businesses, supply chain. I want to bring Mr. David Paskina, who is a commercial officer of the US Department of Commerce in Mumbai consulate. Let me give us some brief about particularly what my chamber is doing for last 15 years, particularly for India, US, building bridge between SMEs from the India and US. We have started India-US SM Business Council, which is providing value addition services to the Indian SMEs to connect with the US companies, particularly to identify the advanced technology, advanced capital goods, processing units, processing machinery, and also to support them to set up their businesses in that region. I am working very closely with Mr. Jonathan. You must be Jonathan Hammer. He's a very old friend of mine. And we are now doing a lot of activities, particularly India level and US level. We are focusing more and more than 12 states in USA for sending our entrepreneurs to set up their business, start their manufacturing unit, and take advantages of the US government is providing before China is taking more advantage. So let me introduce David. Let me present David here to say a few words about what is the commercial department, particularly US government, can provide the value addition services to the Indian companies. I know we are going to, there are a lot of activities happening, but we are taking large delegation for Select USA for the 2024. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. It's a privilege to be here. Thank you all. I realize I'm the last thing before your lunch, so I will make it brief and I will try to be concise. Thank you to the leadership from the SME Chamber of India for inviting me today and for hosting this SME Manufacturing Summit. Thank you for the work that you do to build connections between micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises in the US and in India. I would like to extend a greeting to Mr. Salunki, Mr. Mahesh Kumar, and Ms. Kulkarni for being consulate. I've been here in Mumbai for about 1.5 years. I love it. It's a fantastic city. I have got used to eating the vada pav every morning. There's a little stall outside the house. I don't know how I can live without it. It's a wonderful place, and again, I just it's a wonderful time to be here in India as well. There's really good positive feelings and a good political goodwill between our two countries that makes my job actually quite easy. When there's a will of the governments behind the work that you do, everything becomes a lot easier. And I work primarily with SMEs. So I put up here the mission of the organization that I work for. And this is essentially what we do day to day. And most of it, as I said, is with small, medium companies, because that really is the backbone of any economy in the US or even here in India. And again, it's a great time to be here. So I want to talk a little bit about the bilateral relationship, and then I'll get specifically into a few things about SMEs. Today's manufacturing summit comes shortly after India's monumental hosting of the G20. There was a bilateral meeting between President Biden and PM Modi, which showed the full breadth of the US-India relationship on display. It was a remarkable visit, and it was a great way to highlight the bond between the world's two largest democracies. Our president has said many times, we hear this all the time, that the US-India relationship is the most consequential for the future and for the world. And so, again, a good place to be here. A little bit about our trade relationship and some of the numbers. Again, according to most trade experts, the trade relationship between the US is also booming, and the numbers look great. Total trade increased from 160 billion to 191 billion in 2022 over last year. It's about double what it was 10 years ago. So in the last 10 years, our trade has doubled. And again, a lot of that is small and mid-sized companies that are doing that. And so it's just an excellent time to be there. American companies remain a large source of foreign direct investment in India. We talked about startups going to the US and investing, but we're seeing the same thing here. There's a lot of interest in India. India is exciting, it's booming, it's the future. And so a lot of excitement. There's about 42 billion invested in 2022. And those American companies are looking to do more. They come and talk to us every day, and they're knocking on our door and asking us more and more and more about India. And India also has this unique opportunity right now to emerge as a supply chain and a manufacturing hub, potentially creating thousands of new jobs and opportunities for SMEs in all sectors. And that's, again, something that we're seeing a lot of. So a few words about SMEs. I'll flip to the next slide. I'll highlight maybe a few things, and then our work with SMEs and some opportunities on some things that we're working on, particularly at the consulate. I think we can all agree that just by being here today, learning about what SMEs go through and seeing their journeys, and gaining insight into what drives success for an SME, which barriers to growth SMEs are facing, I think that's already a step in the right direction. So you can all give yourself a big round of applause for being here and for doing that. So that's a big step in the right direction. But we must maintain that interconnectedness, I think, as important from our perspective, between government and small businesses and education, so that we as government can adapt our ways and serve small businesses. Ultimately, we serve small businesses. And small businesses are nimble. We just saw in this panel that digital transformation is changing manufacturing. It's a game changer. But when they're supported and when small businesses are empowered by government, it can lead to huge innovation, paving the way for that positive change which we want to see more and more and more of. So we must continue to uplift SMEs, increase the number and the diversity of SMEs. I'm glad to see a few women here in the audience. I applaud you as well for being here and for being a part of that journey. And to enable fair and competitive business environments to increase the resilience of SMEs. Again, that's our job as a government. So supporting SMEs in an ever-changing world, especially SMEs owned by women and minority entrepreneurs, is crucial to ensure that these benefits are not only long-lasting, but are felt broadly and equitably across the economy. Our governments know this. We recently had Minister Goyal and Secretary Raimondo got together for this commercial dialogue, which happened earlier last year. And they recognize that the third largest and the largest startup ecosystems in the world, the US and India, the importance of us working together. And so they put together
certain mechanisms in place to bring our companies closer together, particularly in critical and emerging technologies. And bringing that closer integration of our supply chain. Mr. Vishal spoke briefly about that as well. His company going out there working with these partners, the kind of work that we're doing is to make it easier for that to happen. So one opportunity that we have coming up, which I think is a really good one, well, guidance and mentoring is a key part of what we do with SMEs at the consulate. So we work with companies pretty much day to day. I put that up there, but that should be obvious of what we do. This is one opportunity that's coming up. I think it's really interesting. In the spring of 2024, we're organizing a mission of clean and environmental technology businesses to India to meet with partners and to meet with companies such as yourselves. And so this is really a great opportunity to meet with some of these groups that are accelerating adoption and deployment of energy and environmental solutions. And there's some great companies I've seen here in the room that I think would be a really good fit to meet with that group. So if you're interested, again, my email is up there. Get in touch with us. We're recruiting for that mission now. And so when we bring them here, we would love to introduce them to you all and see if some of those partnerships can happen. The other opportunity here is our Select USA Summit. This is a major initiative for SMEs that we do every year. This is essentially a high-profile event dedicated to doing business in the U.S. It features senior government officials, business executives, has academics there. Basically, everyone that you need is in the room that you need to get your journey to do business in the U.S. and to learn about the environment, the trends, and the new opportunities available in the U.S. It's an excellent place for SMEs to network and to chart their expansion plans. It's great to learn about the U.S. market and to see more about what is available. Here's some of the details for that. I've also put a link here for companies that are interested in being part of the India delegation. And one of the benefits of being here that I've noticed from previous years is that you meet companies from all around the world that are doing similar things. So, maybe setting up a factory in the U.S. is a long way off, and that's okay, but going there and meeting companies that are doing the same thing, that are potential partners for you, whether they're from anywhere in the world, I think is one of the great benefits of being there. And so, again, that's a little bit about the Select USA Summit. I think I have a nice picture here where we took our India delegation, which was the largest ever this year. And so there's, again, it speaks on that relationship. So I will stop there. Again, I know we have a lunch ready. I really look forward to this continued engagement between the SME Chamber of India and the U.S. Consulate. Again, we're really happy to be here and to be partners. Supporting SMEs in this changing world that we live, especially, as I mentioned already, SMEs owned by women and minority entrepreneurs is crucial to reaping those benefits of trade and for long-lasting change. So thank you very much. Bon appetit. I hope everyone has a great lunch. And again, if I'll put this slide up here, I can get my contact details there. We're always happy to support and to be a partner in all your endeavors. So thank you very much, and again, bon appetit.